Hello there, and welcome to the 8th episode of CUZZO-OP, where you have two cousins, one podcast, and less entertainment. I'm your host for this episode, Willie, and as usual, we got...
IV, Isaiah, glad to be here. Glad you're here. Glad you're here too, Willie.
Thank you. So today's a very special episode. We figure we've done episodes about TV. We've done episodes about movies. We've done episodes about games.
We did it all.
We still want you guys to get an understanding of who we are in so many different topics, because it's hard with every week only handling one idea for you to really know what we're about. We thought of a cool idea of let's do a Q&A episode where people can just ask questions of a variety of different topics, and then we can just answer, and you guys can hear us speak about so many things in such a short amount of time. And then just, if they ever do an episode on this small thing, now I know that'd definitely be interesting to give a listen in on. So
it's a trailer. Y'all getting a trailer while also enjoying an episode. You see how we thinking? You on our level? Plus, we're thinking we'll do this regularly. This is coming up on our 8th, so it would be the completion of 2 months. I think every 2 months we'll jump in with a Q&A. I'm not saying it's going to be episode 16, but you can know it's coming.
Yeah, this is definitely exciting. These questions are everything from quick answers that we think of on the spot, and then deep questions with more thought-provoking answers. So you got it all. There's a good amount of questions here that we're going to go through, and I'm very excited to do this. So,
and before we jump in, just want to say thank you to every person who took the time to fill out the Q&A sheet, send a question in. For those who didn't see the sheet, we asked for a question, but we also asked for some ideas, some topics, some episodes that listeners might want to hear from us too. And so stick around for the end of the episode. Arrow will share 2 or 3 that we definitely are going to go forward with. It doesn't mean that if you put in a topic, we're not going to follow through and do that topic, but these were our 3 favorites. So you can definitely see these coming in the future. Thank you so much for joining us in this process. We appreciate it.
All right. To just start it off, I feel like we can answer this question. Listener Shark.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun. Thank you, Shark.
Shark asks us what our main inspiration was to create this podcast and to choose each other as co-hosts.
So Shark, if you haven't, definitely fall back to our first ever episode. We do touch on this a little, but man, this has always been something we've talked about in theory. And I'm a big fan of Arrow, aka Willie Vega. And I believe that this is what he's meant for. I believe he's meant to discuss content like this in a way that helps listeners that may not be, familiar with certain media types or whatever. I feel like he has that touch and he really noticed things, you know what I mean? So I was like, we're trying to run a podcast. We have the conversations that we've always wanted to have whenever we're not able to get on the phone with each other or be in the same room for long enough to talk. And on top of that, I feel like it helps me stay tapped into entertainment. I don't know about you, Willie, but I'm watching more TVs than ever, more movies than ever, and I'm playing video games with a fresh energy right now. So I think that was actually like a accident. I don't think I knew that was going to happen, but that's definitely another reason.
I mean, yeah, I definitely wanted you as a co-host, as my co-host for this, because number one, you're the reason why I feel like I'm into a lot of this stuff. Just growing up, you being my older cousin introduced me into video games and so much more. So I'm like, it only feels right after so many years of, number one, following you through this world, but then branching on my own path and now creating my own opinions, that I'm like, now we get to go back and forth. We get to discuss these things
as peers, bro. Yeah, I'm about to cry. This is much more than just 2 dudes decided to talk about some stuff. It's meaningful stuff to us, for sure.
There you go. Simple and sweet. And yeah, refer to our first episode. We kind of also dive into this one a little bit. A nice question to go into right after that one from Stephen Locke.
Oh, Big Steve, Locke in the cut. What's up, my boy?
You guys, listeners whose name isn't Stephen Locke, you will get to know who Stephen Locke is.
You know what, bro? Since it's Steve, let me be the one that actually, reads this question off. What is the driving force in producing your content? What ignites the spark every time you guys get on the mic?
I mean, my driving force for this content is two things, really. Number one, I hope that people that aren't into the things that you and I are into give a listen, because there's this negative stigma about things like video games or the movies that we like to watch, that they're not real entertainment, meaningful entertainment. And so the conversations that you and I have, I'm hoping to get someone to just listen, even for 5 minutes, and say, I never thought like that about this, and now I want to give it a try. So that spark inside of me is all the people in my life that talk down about the video games, the movies, the TV shows. It's like you're fueling me to put this out there and show you why you're wrong about these things.
You bullies. It's a route of vengeance. I know you have a second reason. Do you want to drop that?
I mean, the second reason is really just because I also love talking about these types of things. I love hearing the opinions of others. Let me hear what you have to say, because even if I disagree, you'll make me think about it in a different way that I can appreciate it even more, that it's delivering something different.
Yeah, man. That's big facts, bro. I think that's some of my reasoning too. I'd say twofold. My two answers would be one, I kind of touched on it. There's a passion for this that I have, and this throws gas on that fire, and I love that. Two, I think creativity is something really important to me, right? And I think creativity compounds. I've been having some conversations with some friends about the concept of creativity. I think when you doodle in your notebook, or you write a poem, or you do a podcast, or you paint something, or you create a flyer in Canva, I think all that creativity is like momentum. And I just feel like having the podcast in my life at this point as a goal and as a thing I'm doing with Willie, it just kind of helps me. It's inspiring me, man. I feel like I'm writing a lot more. I feel like I'm thinking bigger. So it's just, it's a love thing, like a love for the actual act of doing the podcast. Even the production, post-production, I love that. Like editing, fading, music, production. Like I love that stuff. So all in all, it's a passion project, brother.
So now to move on after two, very deep questions, I want to take a few minutes to have a little bit of fun with these questions. We have some little fun questions here. We're going to play a game called Fuck, Marry, Kill.
Yeah.
We got some interesting options here from our listener, Leaf.
Okay, Leaf. Shout out Leaf. But are you like a leaf that's like out in the open, or are you hidden leaf? You know what I mean? Are you hidden leaf? Yeah, I figured. My bad, bro. I cut you off.
All right. If y'all don't know the concept of Fuck, Marry, Kill, there's 3 names. You got to say which one you'd rather do. That's it. Here we go. We starting with Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor.
Well, it's ironic because you said fuck, marry, kill in the exact order that I would go forward with that. You feel me? So it's like Iron Man smooth with it. You feel me? Right? But I would only choose that option because I really would love to marry Captain America. That's my guy, bro, the GOAT. You feel me? Inspired by him. I think his writing of a character is just so Chris Evans killing that role, bro. You feel me? Like, I love Captain America. He's the man. Thor, he's not the man. Like, Ragnarok is obviously one of those movies, but after that Love and Thunder, you dead to me. 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 So that's my FMK right there, bro. It's F Tony, marry Cap, killing Thor.
All right. I mean, I'm going with yours. Maybe not for the same reasons, but I agree. We'll go with that.
Wow, you really had me be out here answering that question all to say, me too, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy.
You went on that tangent, not me.
All right, so what's the next FMK?
Round 2, Goku, Vegeta, or Frieza. It's that order again. I'm gonna F Goku. Vegeta, Mary. It's the only right choice. Vegeta's die hard for Bulma. That's his wife, and I want him in my corner. Why not? And then Frieza, I'm not picking Frieza for either of the other two. I mean, that's bugged.
Hell nah, bro. Frieza's dunzo.
Round 3. How much of Game of Thrones did you watch?
Not enough to answer this question.
Okay, well, it's a Pedro Pascal centered question. It's Oberyn Martell from Game of Thrones, Din Djarin from The Mandalorian, and Joel Miller from The Last of Us. So I guess I'll take this one. I think I'm going to marry Joel Miller. As much as I think he's a piece of shit.
He's a madman. He's a madman, bro.
He's a piece of shit that I want in my corner, and I want to be one of his loved ones because he ride or die.
You tell me you want him to whisper in your ear, baby girl.
I got you, baby boy. I'm gonna fuck Oberyn Martell, and then I'm gonna kill Din Djarin. Like, I'm sorry, and I love Din Djarin, but
damn, that's kind of crazy, bro. Din Djarin's really getting killed. Nah, bro.
Yeah.
I think it would actually, for me, fuck would be Joel. You feel me? Cause he cool, but I don't really rock with him the way all y'all rock with him. Like, stick around. When we talking Last of Us Part 2, you could really hear my thoughts. You're not gonna like them. So he's just kind of cool. Like, he an icon, PlayStation icon. So he can get that. I know that doesn't answer it meta, but it's okay. All I'm saying is my Mary would definitely be Din Djarin. I don't know what you're talking about. That boy is a man of integrity, a man of loyalty, a man of dignity, righteousness, and he's got a soft heart. Shout outs to Grogu. What are we talking about, bro? Those are all qualities of a husband. What are we talking about? And then kill your Game of Thrones mans. And if I knew more about him, I can't even say his names. That's how bad I sound. But it doesn't matter because the Din Djarin and the Joel decision was undeniable.
Okay. And the last part of this game is for side characters. We have Sean Spencer, Carlton Lasseter, and Pierre Despero.
You know the orders of these. It's fuck Pierre. We already know that. You feel me? Because
I agree.
Come on, bro. The thief is yo, bro. The fact that he disappears and just pops back up on the scene in the show, I love that notion of him. It's just really, I love that. Mary, Sean, what are we talking about, bro? It's a fun time. And then who am I clicking? You know who's getting clicked, bro? Lassie, he's getting shot up because if I had to hear him talk the way he talks, and we was getting married, and I was in your space all the time, I was definitely not going to survive, bro. Lassie as a character is great in contrast to Sean, but as a character individually, I love him for who he is to the show, but I don't love his character, me personally.
Wow. I think you might need to rewatch the last few seasons of Psych to understand why I'm picking Lassie.
Yeah, I know.
And Psych 3, but we're going to, my answer is F. Pierre, marry Lassie, and as much as I love Sean is just the shortcoming of this.
I feel that, bro. Maybe I switched my whole decision to yours as well. I think you just reminded me of something very important. So, what's the next question, bro? You got me tight.
This is a quick answer from Tyson. What are your favorite DC and Marvel characters, and which franchise do you prefer? Now, we can answer this question about which franchise you and I prefer, but I don't want to go into details because that is an idea that's been floating around of a maybe episode. But franchise-wise, I prefer DC.
Yeah. I'm Marvel.
Favorite DC character? Green Arrow.
Yeah. Favorite Marvel character is probably Cap. It's probably Cap. Favorite DC character, just for the heck of it, Nightwing, Dick Grayson.
Yeah, Dick Grayson is my second favorite DC character. And then my favorite Marvel character, if we're talking the entirety of Marvel, it's probably Daredevil. But MCU wise, it's Captain America.
Yeah, see, we like-minded in our thinking. You feel me?
Another little, keeping in spirit with your Marvelness. From Abe, if the Empire from Star Wars invades the Earth and the Avengers are called to stop them, who do you think wins?
Damn, bro. You got to answer that first.
Do they have a Death Star?
Yeah, like that's major, bro. Because if they have a Death Star, it's over.
And is Darth Vader there? If Darth Vader is there, Empire. If it's just stormtroopers on the battlefield, probably Empire.
But there's no hero from the Avengers that has some sort of a special ability that could rally against.
When we're talking Avengers, are we saying like if everybody from the Endgame battlefield was fighting against the Empire?
That's a good meter.
I think Vader would need to be there.
I'm assuming he meant the Vader's in it, bro. I'm thinking he's assuming Inquisitors. I'm thinking like, you know what I mean?
So if all right, so if it's the full force of the Empire versus the full force of what we've seen the Avengers be, I'll give it to Empire.
Yeah, it's a different type of power, bro.
Palpatine and Vader alone.
Yo, ever since I seen that scene of Palpatine fighting Darth Maul and his homeboy follower, I agree.
All right. And then one more little Marvel segment, just because there's been a few of these Marvel questions and I want to keep things a little bit organized. From what is written here as Big Ted, aka Ted the Toy Collector. If you had to recast the Avengers, which actors would you choose to play Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, and Thor?
Wait, they want a Captain America, an Iron Man, a Thor,
and a Hulk.
I honestly would prefer Edward Norton. Is it Norton? As the OG Incredible Hulk. I feel like that would have been cool. I wasn't really a fan of Mark Ruffalo in the beginning, but then he sold himself to me. And then now, like right now, I don't care for him with where they have Hulk currently, personally.
Yeah. I mean,
so that's my reasoning on that.
As a Bruce Banner type character, I think I like Ruffalo more than Norton. But we didn't get to see Norton ever embrace the more science-y around the Avengers type role.
Actually, seeing Norton be playful in Glass Onion made me feel this more.
Yeah, he was great in that.
There is a brilliant playful he could do, and it would be dope.
He was great in that.
Thor.
Captain America wise, I'd rather jump to him first because I know who they were thinking of doing before it was Chris Evans, and I don't think that would have been a bad idea.
Tom Cruise?
No, it was going to be John Krasinski.
Oh, wow.
But something about Zachary Levi, I feel like could have been Captain America.
Yeah, I like Zach Levi. I know he's under a lot of fire. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go on Twitter. But I love Zach Levi. He's like one of those guys I wish I could meet. He could be a great Cap for sure.
Thor, it's hard to just not pick some white guy that you've seen with blonde hair, you know? It's like Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt could be Thor.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Chris Hemsworth, as much as I love his Thor, is not my favorite iteration of Thor.
Well, now we got to start thinking like this. You got to start thinking you've got Zachary Levi as Captain America and you've got Norton as Hulk still. So now those two actors, who would rally off them in the roles? That kind of makes it a little narrower. I think we'd need a stronger actor to rally them. So actually, I would go with Brad Pitt as a Thor, I think.
Yeah, that's a good one. I brought it up. I did it.
And then we need an Iron Man. And honestly, bro, I thought you were going to say Tom Cruise. But you were talking about Cap. But yeah, Tom Cruise, I feel like could have done it. But if we wanted to get more serious and make it less commercialized, you could do Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill.
Wow. I'm surprised that that's not like a Captain America pick.
I mean, we don't have a Captain America pick available anymore. I think if we were going to do Captain America that wasn't Zach Levi, then sure. But I also feel like, damn, bro, like Charlie Hunnam could play one of these characters as well.
Charlie Hunnam could easily be Captain America.
This is a crazy question.
Or even Alexander Skarsgård. He could easily be Captain America.
Yo, Ted, this just proves, Ted, we aren't practicing these before. We're really on like live recording, struggling with this question.
Give me Nick Cage as Tony Stark.
Nick Cage? Where are we right now?
That's a joke.
No, we need him for Ghost Rider, bro. He has to come back. I want Nick Cage to come back as Ghost Rider and shave his head. I want his head bald.
No, I actually think his name is Timothy Oliphant, I hope.
Why do I know who that is?
He was in the Book of Boba Fett and Mando season 2. He's the guy who has Boba Fett's armor on, but isn't. He's the sheriff.
Yeah, he's great.
I feel like he could do Iron Man.
He could
maybe not Downey's Iron Man, but he could do Iron Man.
He could.
The next question comes from Brian. Where do y'all see the movie/entertainment industry going, especially since there is a whole new crop of young actors and actresses? I think that's a great question.
Word.
Because for the last 20 years, it feels like we've been watching the same people do everything. Leonardo,
everyone.
Downey, Brad Pitt, even
Will
though
Smith.
we were just talking about Brad Pitt, Will Smith.
Washington.
It's like, and now we have these new Tom Holland, Zendaya, Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, those are
even John David Washington, I would say, is popping up.
You're talking about younger guys. There are some older folks that are just popping out. You know, Charlie Hunnam was on TV for so long. He's breaking into movies. You know, he's done a couple solid movies.
Yeah. Even Pedro Pascal, I would say, even though he broke out on Game of Thrones almost 10 years ago, this is his time now. He's really stepping onto the stage. I think that right now, where the movie and entertainment industry is, we're in like a limbo state of everyone trying to do something that has been done before. We have reboots, sequels.
I hate reboots.
And then everybody's trying to build their own cinematic universes.
Right.
It's all just stale. Not stale, but everything feels like it's on pause.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we are at a plateau. We're at a plateau. And I'm thankful for production studios that are a lot more independent and not as much run by money, but more by the passion of film, and that like the life of film and entertainment still lives in those people who do it from a place of passion. So they give room for weird, obtuse, different, what would ultimately be called an independent level, like independent film type of style. A24, big shouts to A24, you know, and I think that there's an undercurrent. The mainstream current is getting to that plateau, but the undercurrent still exists, and there will be a point where after we're finally fatigued by chasing the money and doing all these reboots right now, I can't stand reboots. We'll actually want to create something original and make a new IP. And I also think it's worth saying this isn't just movies. It's obviously television shows. There are some shows that I understand. But it's like, come on. And then when it comes to video games, guys, we're getting remake after remake after remaster after. It's like, I'm tired of y'all. All the effort you're putting into remaking games, make something new. I think that's what's next.
Yeah. It's very unfortunate because if you really look at the history of all of these entertainments, it's always been the case of one thing pops off and a million of them happen. It's why Westerns aren't made anymore.
What are you talking about? I'm watching a Western right now. Season 3, Mandalorian. What are we talking about right now, bro?
I disagree with you on that one, but I think the zombie genre of video games in the 2000s, 2010s, 2020s, 2030s, 2040s, 2050s, 2060s, 2070s, 2080s, 2090s, 2091s, 2092s, 2093s, 2094s, 2095s, 2096s, 2097s, 2028s, 2029s, 2030s, 2031s, 2032s, 2033s, 2034s, 2035s, 2036s, 2037s, 2038s, 2039s, 2040s, 2041s, 2042s, 2043s, 2044s, 2045s, 2046s, 2047s, 2048s, 2049s, 2050s, 2051s, 2052s, 2053s, 2054s, 2055s, 2056s, 2057s, 2058s, 2059s, 2060s, 2061s, 2062s, 2063s, 2064s, 2065s, 2066s, 2067s, 2068s, 2069s, 2070s, 2071s, 2072s, 2073s, 2074s, 2075s, 2076s, 2077s, 2078s, 2079s, 2080s, 2081s, 2082s, 2083s, 2084s, 2085 It's just these trends happen and then you move on. The 80s space trend. Everyone was trying to make their sci-fi in the 80s. But right now, what's bad is at least those trends had some kind of creativity behind it as its driving force, which with what you said, this one is more money.
Yeah.
No one wants to go to the movie theaters unless you're connecting a movie A to movie B. And that's what people think.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's a shame, which is why Everything Everywhere All at Once was phenomenal to me. I watched the movie this week with Nick Cage and Pedro Pascal. Yeah. And I think this movie, more than anything, made me realize I would rather watch a 7 out of 10 made film that is a 10 out of 10 when it comes to entertainment, rather than all of the Oscar-nominated movies that were 9 out of 10s and 10 out of 10s that just didn't entertain me.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And when filmmakers decide to entertain again, which is something that a lot of them have lost, then I think we'll be on the right track. All right, after that deep question, we're going to have a little bit more of the fun, quick AI asks.
What's up, AI?
Who's your favorite Dragon Ball character?
Oh, nah. Yamcha.
What?
Yeah. I have an emotional connection to Yamcha. Shout outs to the homies. You know who you are if you're listening.
I need to hear this at some point. I need to understand this, but we're gonna go. I'll go with Trunks.
Well, I had some friends in high school, and everybody was like, "Oh, we're each this. You know, I'm Goku. I'm Trunks. I'm Vegeta." And I ended up with Gotenks because he was all who was left. I think it was him and Krillin.
And you went Yamcha?
Krillin. Yeah, bro. Yeah.
That's different. I picked Trunks or Vegeta. And we're going to just go on to how old were you when you watched Dragon Ball Z from Leaf?
What's up, Leaf? You still hitting? Yeah, bro. I think for me, I watched this. This was probably the first Japanese anime that I watched. You know, like an actual anime. Probably even before Naruto. Even before Naruto. I think probably like 8, 9. Like I was pretty young when I first saw that.
I mean, that just means you showed it to me shortly after, because I remember being
everything I had.
I remember being 5 or 6 when I started watching it. So that age matches, and I had the orange box sets. Those were mad fun.
It's mad funny because when Willie was growing up, he used to go through phases, and you know, some phase would stick, like Star Wars, but Dragon Ball Z was not a phase either. you stuck with Dragon Ball Z for a long time, bro.
I'm still there. Guy. Goku might be the reason why orange is my favorite color. I'm not sure.
Word.
But
that's crazy.
The second part to her question is, did you try to find your ki or fly?
Yeah, absolutely. Who didn't watch the YouTube video of the kid trying to go Super Saiyan? Like
yo,
everyone has seen that video.
It's such a great video.
Definitely, yo, 100%. If you haven't tried and you're a fan of that show, then you're not really a fan.
Yeah, seriously. All right, then we got a question from Frank Castle, aka Quinn, because he's obsessed with the Punisher.
Love Quinn. What's up, bro?
He has a few questions here, but I'm just gonna target this one right here. Should Punisher get a 3rd season or a Disney Plus reboot?
For me, right, like Punisher, obviously he's gonna get a 3rd season if they're gonna put him in DD Reborn. But I'll voice what I know everyone else is concerned about, right? And it's that without that Netflix MA rating freedom, will they be able to get the heart of why Punisher was special across the screen? And I think Bernthal will do it. I think he will do it. As much as I'm afraid, I think he will do it. So I do think he should get a 3rd season. I want them to give him the room to explore that in the MCU light. I think that's going to be
Yeah.
great.
Bernthal will do whatever he needs to in order to make sure that Frank Castle is respected. I feel like he is a actor who, if his work isn't going to get the respect that he deserves, he's out. He'll let them
He's not going to
recast.
say yes. Yeah. And honestly, if you've seen him in any of his cameo roles, he plays characters that kind of would pull on the same strings that he needs you to do an MCU character, you know, like Shia LaBeouf's brother in Peanut Butter Falcon, or the brother in The Bear. Like, you know, he has these playful pieces to himself that I think will be good.
Yep. Want to run through Zoe Jet, her quick questions.
Let's
What
run
are
it.
your thoughts on the Star Wars universe? It is my favorite thing ever. If you could see the wall that I'm looking at while recording this right now, I think you would know that Star Wars is my favorite thing ever.
Like I said earlier, I mean, Willie never let go of that face. My man used to have cards. I'm talking like kings, queens, jack, like cards with Star Wars characters.
I still do.
I bet you do. This guy. All that being said, I love Star Wars as well, and I don't love it as much because I haven't taken the time to dive into each piece of it as much as I should. But as I keep diving into the video games, to the shows, to the, you know, Willie put me on to Clone Wars, like it's making me realize that it's such a special piece of entertainment. It's a very special universe. So I love Star Wars. I do.
Yeah. So real quick, any Clone Wars fans, I'm gonna be having him watch the Siege of Mandalore soon.
Sheesh.
So be ready for that. Another question from Zoe: what's your thoughts on the Harry Potter movies and books? I think the movies, because those are my only experiences with Harry Potter, I guess the books must be really, really good. Because to me, the movies were all right.
I think the movies are just as special. I think like when it comes to special, similar to Star Wars being special, there is something about Harry Potter that's very magical.
Absolutely. And funny enough, the magic and the world and the school featured in Harry Potter were my favorite parts. It was the story that they were telling in the universe that I think was more on the weaker side for me.
I'm hearing you, bro.
Which is why Hogwarts Legacy is something that I've been enjoying.
Bro, I like it a lot. It's a nice game, bro. It's a good game, and they've captured that magic we're talking about. So yeah, I'm on the same page as you.
And then the last question from Zoe is, if you could have any job in the world, what would it be and why? I would love the opportunity to work on a film or television show or video game.
Like a writer?
Using like my ideas
Yeah, like a
and
writer.
my even choreography, things like that. But as a writer, most definitely, I would love to just create something with the depth that they do over at Naughty Dog or the early Epic Games, Gears of Wars, just something like that.
Yeah, bro. Absolute. You would do that so well. For me, I think I would be, you know, co-president of a creative collective of artists and spoken word and rappers, producers, engineers. That kind of like not like a label. I would just say like a collective. I would do that, make music, and speak about creativity all around the world.
And our last question for this episode, once more, Leaf.
Big Leaf. Can't see you, bro. Hidden.
Given the success of The Last of Us on HBO, what other franchises would you like to see get a good television/film adaptation?
So I know there's one already in works for Gears of War. I think Gears of War definitely would kill on the screen if done properly.
If done properly. I think with Gears of War being one of my favorite video game franchises of all time, it's hard to see it as a television show unless there are some changes made to some of its more earlier productions.
I don't know, bro. I think a couple years ago, this would be impossible with the way CGI is and the way that special effects have gotten. I just think they'd be able to do it really, really well.
Oh, I have no doubt they're going to be able to do it well. I just hope that there are things that I know need to be added in order for it to work for television.
Sure. I understand.
Another franchise that I would love to see, and we're getting it in a way that I personally don't want it, is God of War. I don't want God of War to be live action, especially since it's rumored to start with God of War 4. I think with the respect that animation has been given over the last few years, we deserve an animated God of War franchise starting from the original games, or even just tell the story in chronological order.
What kind of animated are we talking about?
Cyberpunk Edge.
Edge Runners type shit?
That? Yeah. Something like that. Something that's
an
spectacle,
anime.
because God of War is a spectacle.
But I also could see it with what's the League of Legends animated show that came out on Netflix?
Arcane.
Yeah.
I could see that also. Anything of those types of animated, like, I'm not talking show on Cartoon Network. I'm talking like
high level.
These not money, but high quality animated production.
Yeah. I feel like there's tons of others. I wish Uncharted, the movie, never came out with Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland. I mean, it was a fun time. It was a fun time.
I thought it was all right because it wasn't, I don't know, do you call that an adaptation?
Yeah. That's definitely an adaptation.
Even if it's not based on any of the stories, if they did their own thing.
That's the other thing. Like, this question's great because that's what I'm trying to say about Gears of War. I don't need the exact story as long as it's in the world.
Yeah.
As long as that world is so insane and it's like it grabs you. So same with Uncharted. I feel like if they wanted to do a completely different storyline for Sam and just do a Sam TV show, I'd be down for that.
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking about ones that have come out that we would love to see again, one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life was the Assassin's Creed movie.
The one with Fassbender?
And he's a great actor. They wasted him.
He is. They wasted him big time.
That movie was garbage.
Doo-doo.
And Netflix is doing Assassin's Creed. I'm scared. Because two of my favorite franchises are Gears of War and Assassin's Creed, and Netflix is doing both of them.
I have trust for Assassin's Creed. There's been stuff similar to that nature that Netflix has done in terms of like assassins and killing and action being intense, but also characters you want to see like go through conflict. I'm just worried about like the heart of Assassin's Creed, like that Altair jumping off the like the leap of faith. Come on, bro.
Trust.
I got to get that right.
When Assassin's Creed Mirage is gonna drop, you can expect an Assassin's Creed episode from us.
Oh yeah, that's coming. That's coming. That's gonna be a great one. Spinning back around, back to the other point. Just think about it, bro. Troy Baker, live action, Sam, Uncharted show. Yo, bro, Troy would kill that.
Yeah.
And then they have Laura Bailey pop out as supporting actress. Come on, bro. That would be kind of tight. All right, I rest my case. It's been a great episode. It's been an awesome opportunity to jump into these questions. Like we said, we're going to do this every 2 months. Keep listening. And as our listeners, please share the podcast with people that you think, get their mind opened up by some, two chumps just talking about pop culture and entertainment culture. Willie, I want you to definitely hit them with some of those topics that we are going to probably roll with that they suggested.
Yeah. All right. So we have quite a few suggestions, and a lot of them are like actually pretty nice, pretty great suggestions. I would love to discuss some of these. One of my favorite suggestions come from Marcus Jordan, who says, "Y'all are already killing it. So surprise me. Thank you.
We will surprise you, bro. And I hope it's not surprising that For Your Eyes Only is my favorite J. Cole album. Anyways.
Brian suggested TV shows that you enjoyed, but parts or endings that you did not like and what you would change. I think there are many television shows that we could probably talk about. So that's a great idea. Thanks. From both Ted and good. Tyson, we have an Attack on Titan episode. I have just started Attack on Titan for the first time. And so...
So you must be tripping because that first season's crazy.
Roughly within the first 10 episodes right now. And I'm like, okay, we could do that when I'm more
my boy Aaron.
Caught up. I didn't know you watched Attack on Titan.
Bro, I watch anime, bro. Attack on Titan goes crazy. Death Note goes crazy. I'm one of those schmucks that started with Sword Art Online.
I remember you telling me to watch Sword Art Online and Ruby.
Yo, bro, you are such a sucker. Like you're such a softie that Sword Art would hit. Yo, listeners, Sword Art would hit for Arrow. Let's be realistic, guys. Anyways, man, what's another one? What's one more?
Let's see. And for the last few, just Stephen Locke. Like I said, y'all will get to know him, and he dropped quite a few bangers here, if I must say so.
Not surprised.
Like he said comparison of major movie scores, like, soundtracks and stuff. The quality of films as they are presently versus pre-pandemic. I think that's a great one. The way love is depicted in films. Fantasy and implications in real life aspects. And your first memories of falling in love with culture, media, music, movies, and so on.
Dang, man. Great.
Steven's gonna have to hop on for some of these.
That's what I was saying. Just stay strapped in, man. We here. More coming.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for sending those in. If you did send a question in and it wasn't answered or wasn't answered in a way that you maybe agree with, please comment. You can send voice.
Curse us out. Curse us out. Whatever you need. Whatever makes you feel better.
Just send in some voice memos. We'll take those.
Yo, Willie, aren't we thinking about maybe getting these guys in our Discord?
Yeah. I mean, the Discord, we're working on that. We are just trying to have a nice, fun place where there can be interaction on some of the conversations that we're having. It's very easy for us to interact there also. So that's being crafted and created in ways that will make it special for our listeners to really be a part of our community.
Interact. Soon come.
But as always, you can find us YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Twitter.
The Tweeter. And so we just thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of CUZZO-OP, where you will always find two cousins, one podcast, endless entertainment.